Good morning and welcome to the inaugural video on this channel. I'm going to a very special place this morning. It's called Scioto Grove Metro Park in Columbus. It's a beautiful day. And I'm going to film some archery stuff. And that's what this channel is going to be about. I'm not quite sure what this channel is going to be about, but it's going to be archery themed. Going to do a lot of shooting. Maybe some arrow building, maybe some hunting, stuff of that nature. Stuff of that nature. Stuff of that nature. But this is a pretty cool place. It's a metro park in Columbus, Ohio, and it has an archery range. It not only has an archery range, but it also has a 3D course. So that's something I'm very excited about, and I shot it before, but this morning I'm hoping to go all the way through it. The targets aren't very long, but they're actually some pretty cool targets. I think they've got a turkey there, they've got a bunch of deer, they've got a hog, and they've got a big buffalo, and they're pretty good 3D targets. So hopefully it is early enough where I won't see anybody, keep my social distancing up, and I'm just gonna have some fun this morning. Let's go. Shots at the range before I go out. Make sure that I'm all good to go. Just a couple shots here. 50. That felt good. That was a good break. First one wasn't. Good break too. Let's see what we got. First break wasn't that good. Second and third break were pretty good though. That's not bad. That's second and third. That's not bad. That one was the first one. Yeah. Do one more round. We'll do one more end and then head out to the 3D. All three of those felt fantastic. Broke with it. All three of those shots broke with my pin right on the target. And right now, in between hunting season, I'm just focusing on getting a good release. And that at 50 is decent for me for not having shot in a while, so not bad. If I can hit a group like that at 50, if I can hit a group at that, like if I can hit a group like that at 50, I'm good with taking a shot on a deer at 30. If I want to take a shot on a deer at 40, I might want to tighten up that group a little bit, but that's a good start. Let's go 3D shooting. Target number 1. It's a turkey. He was facing the other way last time I was here. I think somebody moved it. That's alright. I still know where to aim. think the heart is all the way up here in a turkey. I think you go from the feet up to here, although the target's right there, but I think that's a kill. That's what I'm gonna go with. I have no idea what range that was at. I just went with it. Hard to pull out. Target number 2. What is it? What is it? It's Mr. Bear. It's very important that we get Mr. Bear on the first shot. I'd also be really pissed that we shot him. He'll come after us. So let's do this. Let's make it count. See how we did. I think that's a little high, but then again, I can't tell on this bear where this target is supposed to be. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be right there, but whatever. I've never been bear hunting, so I wouldn't know. We're dead. You get angry. He came after us, and he ate my face. Next target. Now, there is no excuse for missing this shot, because it's a deer. It's an animal that I've shot at quite a few times. It's one where I know where to shoot at it, and so I shouldn't miss. It's the most important shot of the day so far. Here we go. First glance, that might be a little high, but it's right behind the shoulder, right where I wanted it. It looks like we've got both lungs, probably, and maybe a heart. That is that right there, and this is sort of like cockeyed a little bit, so it's falling over. But if it was straight up, would have hit right there. And I think at that angle, you're gonna hit the heart anyways, so that's a good shot, I think. And at that range, I didn't range it, but it's close enough to where I think I can hit it without moving my sight, so that's a good shot for me. Target number 4. Now this will be an interesting animal to shoot at. Aim low. could have been a little bit higher, but I think that's still probably a kill. So, full disclosure, I did skip a couple of targets just because they're like more badgers and muskrats and stuff like that at like 6 or 7 yards, which is fine, but I'm not really interested in that. It's a good challenge for shooting short range, because short range can be a little bit tricky just because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like the opposite of what you're thinking about, and you have to aim really low and be really precise. But the long range stuff is what gets me out of bed in the morning, and we've arrived at one right now. Got what looks like a bear cub on the other side. On the other side of this pond. Now this is a nice shot. I forget what it is. I'm just gonna go ahead and range its butt real quick. 48 yards. Not too shabby. You can just see the vitals through the, what is that? Cattails? Yeah, I think they're cattails. Whatever. Let's shoot him. Well, I'll not lie. Those were terrible shots, except for the last one. The last one might have been okay. I think my bow's shooting a little bit high. Something that I kind of noticed on the archery range. So I tried to compensate low. Aimed, put my sight at 48, aimed pretty much at his belly, underneath the, right next to the front leg. I don't really know how that shot went, but we'll see in a second. And then the other shots were really, really high. Yeah, so none of those are kills. Man, I was really off. God. Not good. It's okay. That's why we practice before we take that shot. I'm gonna do this one again, see if I can't dial it in. Well, I don't know what that was about, but first two shots looked pretty good. Last shot was terrible. It was awful. It was awful, but first two shots were good. I don't know what my problem was on the first end, but oh well. But you gotta get it on the first shot, which I didn't do, so more practice is needed. Let's go down there and check it out. So here's the rundown on that end. I felt like the first two shots were excellent. So I went on my sight tape and dialed it into 48 exactly, and it hit exactly at 48. I don't really know what the problem was, but I guess trust your sight tape. The first two arrows the release felt really, really good. But the third one, like, I felt like I was anticipating a little bit, and I didn't really get that good of a release. But actually, now that I'm down here at the target, the first shot was maybe a little low. Yeah, it was kind of low. The third shot would have been kill. Actually, well, I mean, it's in his shoulder, so that might not have penetrated all that much. But if you look right here are his lungs, so I mean, that's a double lung, and then you've got one in the outer inner ring, I don't know what you call that, but the middle ring, and then you've got the so all in all, that actually wasn't that bad. I think these two would have been kills, and then this one maybe not, maybe a slow bleed out, which isn't good, but you still clipped both lungs, I think. So oh well, nice to know. It looked more off than it was. Shooting a bow is hard. That's why I do it. On to the next target. This one's gonna be a fun target. It's a big target too. Big game. Target number 8. It's a big ass buffalo. At 37. So it's actually a shorter distance than the bear cub. Oh well. Maybe I can get a cool perspective. Both of those felt really good. And they looked like they were on. I took a look through my binoculars before I took the shot to get a reference of where the center target was and the vitals. And this one's actually much easier to tell than the other ones. So it looks like this was my first shot right here. So that was actually pretty close. Could have done a little bit lower, and then this one was just outside of the center vital rings, but I mean, it would have hit the lungs, I guess. Because, I mean, you can see the outline of the lungs right there. But I'm actually really happy with those two shots because they looked great and they felt great. They broke really, really cleanly. And didn't feel jittery at all. I'm really happy with the way those shots broke. Not necessarily the placement, although the placement was okay. But, I mean, I feel like it was better than that bear cub over there. But sight tape was right on. I don't know why it was shooting high at 50 yards up there at the range. And I don't know why it's shooting a little bit high right here as well. But I guess it's right on. But let's see if we can get a better shot on that buffalo from here. You don't get second chances when you're out in the wilderness, but you do get second chances here on the 3D archery range that they have at Scioto Grove, which is really awesome, which you should check out. Do it. Both of those were really clean. I liked my aim point, and I think it went exactly where I wanted it to. Both of them, it's the exact same spot. So, oh yeah. There we go. Both of them are in this center ring. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah. This is a dead buffalo. Half the battle is figuring out where to aim, and that's just getting your bow set up the way you want it to, making sure that you're shooting all year round, because those strings sometimes stretch. And these strings on my bow are new. They were set up by Attaboy's Archery in the spring, so right before COVID. So, you know, I think the strings are, you know, pretty quality strings. They probably don't stretch all that much, but I mean, there is still probably going to be some stretch and some break-in on those strings. So I'm glad that I got that done in the spring and not right before deer archery season. So, and then I'm glad that I'm getting this done. Glad that I'm getting in my practice, figuring out my bow, and just staying consistent with shooting before archery season, so that when archery season does come along, I know exactly what I'm doing, and I have the utmost confidence in all of my equipment, from my rangefinder all the way down to my arrow and my broadhead. So this has been a good day. It's been a good morning. I'm happy. I'm very happy with those last two shots. They broke really cleanly. I felt like all my fundamentals were good. Hopefully we got some good footage from today, and I can't get this damn arrow out. Ah, Jesus. That's a cool target. Oh, they've also got a pretty cool disc golf range over here. It like goes, it's like right over here and then goes off around the corner, and there's actually another part of the 3D archery range that is over the hill over here that I might do in another video. But I don't play disc golf. I mean, the people that I know that play disc golf, they get as into it as golfers get into golf. So, I mean, they've got specialized equipment, specialized bags, specialized discs. They have like 14 different discs that they'll use. I think there's actually more discs in disc golf than there are clubs in regular golf. So as far as types and when to use them and what range and what scenario, but it's nice. It's actually pretty nice. It's, you know, it's got a lot of cool scenery around it. It's a good place to play. It's down in here in this valley, which is cool. Parking lot is actually up all the way over there on top of that hill, so you have to come down to get to this place. But this is a cool place to be. It's a cool range, and it's very well taken care of. Not so much. There's not so much here distance-wise, like long distance. These are the only two shots that are long distance at all. I think the shot over the pond is cool. And then, of course, the buffalo target is really cool. But, you know, those are both, you know, within 50 yards. And I think I know a lot of people who would be much more excited to shoot like 70, 80 yards just to push their limits and test how good they are in a bow, which I would like to do so as well. And I mean, there's enough space around here to get like a 70, 80 yard shot on that buffalo, especially at a weird angle. So you can like practice your angles and where the vitals would be at a different angle. But you know, I don't really know how lax they are on the rules out here. I mean, it seems like pretty much like when you hit that post, that's where you're supposed to shoot from. Obviously there's probably like a, you know, 5-foot radius that's cool to shoot from, but I mean, I don't think that they want you shooting all the way up from, you know, the road at a Buffalo, even if there's no one here, which there isn't. So, you know, it's just one of those things where you want to be respectful of the rules, and you don't want to get kicked out of a place like this. So this is a pretty cool place. It's really close to downtown Columbus. It's like 15 minutes from my house, and it's part of the Columbus Metro Parks system. So they got a bunch of really cool parks, and this one I think is my favorite just because it's so large. It has a lot of stuff to do here. They've got a lot of walking paths. They've got this really cool archery range, 3D archery course. They've got a regular range up there that goes out to 50 yards. They've got a huge disc golf course. This is a cool place, and I think that you should come and check it out. Come check this place out. It's pretty cool. I like it, especially here in the summer. It's a beautiful day. Thank you so much for watching.